story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. A woman has disappeared, taken from her home by a man posing as a police officer. Your job, find her.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke extra mild Fatima. Yes, Fatima is the king-size cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild, to give Fatima a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. Enjoy extra mild Fatima yourself. Best of all, long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, April 4th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. It was 10 minutes past 6 p.m. when I got to the basement of the city hall. Carpool.
Over here, Joe.
Hi. Thad Brown will be down in a minute. Captain will follow us out later.
Okay. No contact yet?
No, he's still waiting. You take care of the local broadcast?
It's already gone out. They'll put the descriptions on the air every hour. How's it look to you now?
I don't know. Nothing more we can do to, make a contact. Oh, here's Thad Brown now. You want to squeeze over a little?
Oh, yeah, sure. Hi, Chief.
Aye. Let's go.
Might as well take Beverly Boulevard, huh, Ben?
Yeah, it's as fast as any.
You got the address there, Friday?
Yeah, it's 617 Paris Avenue. It's out by Echo Park.
Who's covering the house now?
Ross and Pacelli are staked out in a private garage across the street from the house. Donahoe and Wiseman are on duty inside the Kessel place. You want to smoke?
Thanks.
Light me one, will you, Joe?
Yeah.
But you got the story from the maid at the Kessel's house, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
You check it out?
I'm pretty sure she's telling it straight. If anything's wrong, I don't think she's got a hand in it. Here you are, Ben.
No, thanks.
You got the call about 3 this afternoon?
Mm-hmm. A few minutes after, we went right out and talked to the maid.
How'd she tell it?
She said she was fixing dinner about 2 this afternoon when the doorbell rang. She answered it, and a young man in a gray suit asked for Mrs. Kessel by name. He told the maid it was an emergency.
Yeah?
Well, the maid said Mrs. Kessel came to the door, and the man identified himself as a police officer. Told Mrs. Kessel her husband had been hurt in an accident, and she was to come right away.
Man show his identification?
Maid said no. Said Miss Kessel just took it for granted he was a cop.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Miss Kessel got her coat and left with the man. About an hour later, her husband, Professor Kessel, got home. He wasn't hurt. He hadn't been in an accident. He hadn't seen his wife.
As soon as he heard from the maid what had happened, he got on the phone and called up.
What's the background on the husband, this Professor Kessel?
He's supposed to have quite a name. He's a professor of philosophy out at Simmons College. That's a small school out near Glendale.
Oh, yeah.
Devout man, president of one of the local synagogues.
Sure about the maid's story, huh?
Sure as we can be. She gave us a good description of the man who picked up Miss Kessel. I got it right here. Yeah. Here.
White male, American, 25 to 30 years old, 6 feet, 170 to 80 pounds, gray suit, gray head, brown shoes. How about the car he used?
Late model Chevrolet, dark blue, white sidewalls. That's all the maid could tell us. She didn't notice the license.
You better cut over on Westlake. That'll take us past the detour, won't it?
Mm-hmm.
This Professor Kessel, has he been told what to do?
Yeah, he's been briefed. We've had a couple of men with him since this thing broke. He's taking it pretty hard.
How old a man is he?
Oh, his late 30s. Wouldn't you say so, Ben?
Pretty close to 40. Nice fellow. It's quiet.
2 kids in the family, just about school age, boy and a girl.
This next one ought to be Paris Avenue. Yeah. There's a big gray house down there, Skipper, white trim.
Don't park too close to the house.
This ought to do it right here, don't you think?
Yeah.
What time you got?
It's 6:15. Almost dark.
Where's the garage our men are covering from?
Can you see beyond that light pole there, the white stucco place?
Oh, yeah.
Next one here's a Kessel home.
Doesn't look very rich.
Neither do the Kessels. I don't think they got much money. Hi, Donahoe.
Come in.
That the husband?
Yeah, I just got a phone call a couple of minutes ago. I listened on the extension.
Who called?
Tried to trace it. The guy wouldn't stay in the line long enough.
What'd you say?
Tell the cops to stay away. Said it twice, tell the cops to stay away.
Yeah?
Said if they don't, I'll kill her.
The Kessel house had already been placed under strict surveillance, and the victim's husband instructed not to contact the abductors without knowledge of the police. To the working detective, there's only one rule to go by when the job of solving an abduction is put in his hands. Find the victim as fast as possible, get the victim to safety, then go after the criminal. It's not an easy job. The responsibility isn't light, and the outcome isn't always successful. If you press too hard, the abductor gets frightened and kills the victim. If you don't press hard enough, the criminal has more time to work for his payoff and then escape. Somewhere between the two was the right answer. We had to find it. 6:30 p.m. Special details of men were ordered out to the bus depots, the railroad terminals, and the airports. Roadblocks were set up at all main arteries leading into and out of the city. Every branch post office in Los Angeles was covered to watch for possible ransom notes addressed to Professor Kessel. 6:40 p.m. We met in the Kessel's living room.
Chief, Wiseman?
Professor Kessel will be down in a minute. Says he's sorry to keep you waiting.
You feeling any better?
A little. The phone call about his wife shook him up a bit.
How about those people who came in a few minutes ago? Who are they?
Relatives. Half a dozen of them. They're waiting back in the kitchen.
How'd they know about Mrs. Kessel?
They didn't. They'd been invited to dinner. They didn't know anything was wrong till they got here.
Mm-hmm.
Kessel asked them to stay for the meal. Wants to keep up appearances for the sake of his kids. Doesn't want them to worry about their mother.
The dinner that important to him?
Well, tonight's the start of the Pesach, in the Jewish religion, Passover.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the big holidays.
Oh, I see.
Well, they started off with this dinner tonight. Is that the way?
Yeah, big dinner. They call them Seders. Tonight they have the first Seder.
Good evening. Sorry to keep you waiting.
How are you?
No, please sit down.
We don't like to intrude on your privacy, Professor Kessel, but I think you can see it's necessary.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm very grateful. If there's anything at all I can do to help.
Do you have any idea who might be responsible for abducting your wife?
That's what has me so confused.
How do you mean, sir?
Well, I'm sure I have people who don't like me, who don't like us, but someone who would take my wife who says they'll kill her? No, I don't know who it could be.
How about the voice on the telephone, Professor? Did you recognize it at all?
No, it didn't sound like anyone I knew. He talked so fast, I could hardly understand the man.
Do you think the person who took your wife has some other motive besides holding her for ransom?
I can't understand that either. If it's money they want, why go after a teacher's wife? $1,500 in the bank, that's all I have. That and this house.
How about your immediate family, Professor?
Well, my wife, Ruth, her people have quite a bit. I guess you would call them rich. But it's their money, not mine. I can't understand why anyone would do it. Poor Ruth, if anything happened. Children.
Albert?
I'm sorry.
It's all right. We understand.
Albert?
Yes, Bertha, come in, would you, please? Gentlemen, this is my sister, Bertha. She's here with her husband for the Seder.
How do you do?
How are you?
Albert, it's late. Sundown. It's time to start the Kiddush.
Oh, yes. All right, Bertha. You tell everyone to come to the table. I'll be right in.
The officers will have the first Seder with us?
Yes, Bertha. You please set them places.
Yes, Albert.
Say, we don't mean to intrude here. We can wait outside while you have your dinner.
Oh, no, please. I'd be honored to have you sit at the table with us. No one in the house should be without food tonight. First Seder for Passover. It's the law.
How's that, sir?
Oh, excuse me, the Hebrew law. Would you come this way, please?
Thank you, Professor.
He turned and led us down the hallway into the dining room. A long white cloth covered the table. In the center was a brightly polished brass candelabra holding 4 lighted tapers. There were a few platters of food already set out, and at the head of the table, where Professor Kessel stood, an open prayer book. In order not to add to the alarm of his 2 small children at the absence of their mother, Professor Kessel introduced us as friends from Simmons College.
This is Mr. Brown, Mr. Friday, Mr. Wiseman, Mr. Romero.
How do you do?
Yes, of course.
No, sit down, please, sit down.
Yeah. Sure smells good.
Yeah. You got enough room there, Joe?
Oh, fine. Hey, how's it work, Wiseman? Should we join in the prayers?
Not unless you speak Hebrew.
Oh.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, bo'erei pri hagofen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'chabanu mikol am, v'raimemanu mikol lashain, v'kedishanu b'mitzvosav. V'atiten lanu Adonai Eloheinu, v'avo moyadim l'simcha. Agim uzmanim l'sasayin es yoim hagamatzois hazeh.
Yeah.
Telephone call.
Thank you. All right. Friday talking.
This is Lacey, Joe. Just got a call from the morgue.
Yeah?
They brought in the body a few minutes ago. They checked the description.
Yeah?
They think it's Mrs. Kessel.
I went back into the dining room and told Chief Brown about the call. He told Professor Kessel. He said he'd finish as quickly as possible so as not to alarm the children, and then go with us to the morgue to check the identity of the body. The prayers continued along with the dinner.
John?
Yes, Papa. Manish dona halalo azer, mikol halelos, shebachol halelos anu ochlin, chametzu matzah, halalo hazer, kulo matzah.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Papa?
What was it, Wiseman? What was the boy saying?
It's part of the ceremony during the meal. He's supposed to ask his father certain questions about the Passover, and then the father answers him. I guess it was too much for Kessel.
Sure broke him up.
What'd the boy ask him?
Why is this night different from any other night?
"7:30 p.m. Sergeants Wiseman and Donahoe stayed on duty at the house while Chief Brown, Ben, and I drove Professor Kessel to the county morgue. On the way, we called in and checked with Captain Steed of Homicide. He told us there'd been no reports on Mrs. Kessel. 7:43 p.m. Ben and I took Kessel to the basement of the Hall of Justice, county morgue.
This way, Professor.
Oh, yes.
You sure you feel up to it?
Thank you. I'll be all right. Cold in here.
Yes, sir.
Hi, fellas. It's back here.
Okay, Archie.
This is Professor Kessel, Archie.
How do you do?
This way.
Jane Doe, number 5. I called over as soon as they brought it in.
Yeah, thank you.
Found the body near Avenue 19, the riverbed across from the auto cab.
No identification?
No. Here we are.
All right. Professor?
Thank God. Thank God.
Professor?
No, it's not my wife.
It seemed as if both the victim and whoever had taken her had vanished completely. At 11:30, Captain Steed, Ben, and I went across the street for a cup of coffee and a fried egg sandwich. We got back to the office at 10 minutes to midnight. Still no word. At 2 a.m., Ben and I drove back to the Kessel house to relieve Donahoe and Wiseman. We stood our watch in the living room. In the bedroom directly above, we could hear Professor Kessel pacing the floor most of the night. At 5 a.m., Captain Steed called. He told us a letter addressed to the professor had been reported at the Arcade Post Office. As soon as the outside of the envelope had been photographed and checked for prints, it would be brought out for Professor Kessel to open.
Front door?
Yeah, I'll get it. Chief?
Good morning.
Hi, Lee.
Hi, Joe.
In here. Did you lift anything off the envelope, Lee?
Nothing we can use, no. Might have more luck with the letter.
Good morning. You brought the letter?
It's right here, Professor Kessel. I'd like you to stand by while we open it. This is Lieutenant Jones from our crime lab.
Lieutenant?
You'll check the note for fingerprints.
Oh, yes. I can get you a letter opener. I think this one over here.
Yeah, that's all right. I could use my pocket knife. You want to grab one corner of the paper, Bandit? Just the tip of the corner. Use your fingernail.
Okay.
Yeah, that does it. Open it. And pin down these corners here.
What is it, Freddy?
The words are put together with small printed letters. They all seem to be the same kind of typeface.
Letters were probably clipped from a book, then pasted together to form these words.
Who sent it? What does it say?
Thanks, Lee. If you want to see your wife alive, have 30,000 small bills tonight. Tell police I kill her. Instructions follow in mail.
No signature.
30,000. I haven't got the money. I can't get it. He'll kill her.
Mr. Kessel, there's still a chance.
But what can I do? I haven't got that much money. He says he'll kill her. What can we do?
What we've been doing?
Yes?
Wait.
You are listening to Dragnet, the case history of a police investigation presented in the public interest by Fatima Cigarettes.
Fatima, the long cigarette that has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. And there's a very good reason for this amazing increase. Men and women everywhere are finding out it's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
I agree, says Lee Silva, news reporter.
I agree, says Jean Matson, airline stewardess.
I agree, says Mike Charters, attorney at law.
I agree, says Bab Beckwith, fashion stylist.
Yes, all agree it's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
So enjoy extra mild Fatima yourself. The king-size cigarette, which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos, superbly blended to make it extra mild.
You will prefer Fatima's much different, much better flavor and aroma.
You will agree.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Best of all, long cigarettes.
Wednesday, 7 a.m. With the aid of an iodine fume gun, Lee Jones checked the extortion letter from Mrs. Kessel's abductor for fingerprints and other marks of identification. He found nothing. The piece of paper on which the cutout printed letters had been pasted was of a common variety sold in most stationery and 5 and 10 cent stores. Jones photographed both sides of the envelope and the letter. 11 a.m. Still no word. None of the special details had anything to report. At 1:45 p.m., another letter was delivered to the house. The envelope was opened, the letter removed carefully and pinned down at the corners.
It's put together the same as the last one.
Tonight, 11 o'clock. Come alone, your car. Tell police I kill her.
Is there more, Friday?
Yeah. Drive corner Lakeshore, Charter Street. Wrap money brown paper. Small bills. Come alone, your car. Put package by fireplug, then leave. Tell police and I kill her. No signature.
I haven't got the money.
Lakeshore and Charter. That shouldn't be too hard for us to catch. Sounds pretty much like an amateur.
That makes it touchy. If he's green, he'll scare easy.
If he's scared, he may kill her.
Not if we reach him.
How can I get the money?
You won't need any. We'll have a dummy package made up. There'll be a single dollar bill inside. There's to be newspapers cut to the size of currency. That's what you'll deliver.
But when he gets the package, when he finds out it's not the money, what's he going to think?
We'll explain it to him. Starting at 10 o'clock that night, more than a dozen cars from the Detective Bureau circled the area around Lakeside Avenue and Charter Street, keeping a distance ranging from 3/4 to a full mile away so as not to scare off the abductor. Some of the cars were parked in service stations, some in private driveways. The neighborhood was located in the heart of a new veterans housing project. For a full 5 blocks in either direction, there were no buildings of any kind where we could keep an eye on the package of fake ransom money. The owner of one of the completed houses nearest the spot on Charter Street was contacted, and he agreed to let us use his home as a lookout point for the stakeout that night. 9 p.m. Ben and I took up our positions on the roof of the lookout house. We were equipped with 2 pair of night binoculars and a walkie-talkie.
I could think of a few other places I'd rather spend the night.
How well can you see that intersection from here?
Comes in fine with these binoculars. The guy shows we ought to see him.
Yeah, I better check with the captain again. What time you got?
9:25. Where's the skipper parked?
Private driveway near Charter and Hayworth. Friday to 105K. Friday to 105K. Come in.
Yeah, Joe. Go ahead.
Got a clear view of the intersection. Nothing yet outside of cramped legs. You reading me okay?
Yeah, Joe. Fine. Over.
Roger. Standing by.
Sure lucky my kid can't see me now.
Why?
He'd never understand. Why should his father be sitting on top of somebody's roof late at night? He'd never get it.
We waited. 10 o'clock came, 10:30. At exactly 11 p.m., as we watched through our night binoculars, we saw Professor Kessel drive up to the designated location 5 blocks away, place the fake package of ransom money by the fire hydrant near the intersection, and then drive away. 11:30, we waited. Midnight. 2 a.m., nothing happened. The package was still lying by the fire hydrant, undisturbed. Captain Steed checked with us periodically on the walkie-talkie. At 3:30 a.m., we were still waiting. At a few minutes past 6 a.m., Professor Kessel was directed to return to the intersection, pick up the package, and drive back to his home. His wife's abductor had failed to show. Maybe the suspect had sensed a trap. Maybe he had no idea of showing up in the first place. Maybe Mrs. Kessel was dead. We didn't know. 10 a.m., Thursday. No further contact from the abductor. A special detail from Homicide, including Ben and I, were ordered on a door-to-door canvass of the general area around Lakeside Avenue and Charter Street. After 7 hours of ringing doorbells and asking questions, we came across a Mr. Harold Olander, one of the longtime residents of the Silver Lake area. We showed him the general description of Mrs. Kessel's abductor.
Yeah, that could be Thompson. Don't know for sure, though.
Where did you see this Thompson, Mr. Olander?
Oh, I saw him lots of times. He rents that cottage of mine down the street there. You see? The white one?
Mm-hmm. Does this Thompson have a car?
Thompson? Yeah, new one.
I wonder if you could describe it.
Chevrolet, nice looking. Blue color, I think.
Could be, Joe.
Is Thompson in the house now, Mr. Olander?
Nope. Saw him drive away early this morning. I can show you the house if it's official police business.
It is.
Well, come on, then. I got the key right here. Cottage is just down the block there. See the one I mean? The white one?
Yes, sir. How long's Thompson been in the house?
2 weeks tomorrow.
You noticed anything unusual about him?
Nothing special. Comes and goes at odd hours. Then a lot of people do. I don't pry. It's this house right here.
Does he usually keep all the blinds drawn?
Yeah, now that you mention it. A lot of people do, I guess.
You want to check back in the kitchen, Ben?
Yeah, right.
And look at the living room, Sergeant.
Yeah.
On a stick of furniture. That's funny.
You sure you didn't see anybody else in this house besides Thompson?
No, he's the only one.
Looks like it, Joe. Found this woman's purse stuffed in one of the kitchen cabinets. This sales slip was in the purse.
Let's see. Mrs. Albert Kessel. Is there a phone here, Mr. Olander?
Out in the hall.
All right.
Is it still connected?
Yeah.
Joe, I'll check back in the bedrooms while you're phoning.
Right, Ben. No, you better stay with me, Mr. Olander, if you will.
Oh, all right.
City Hall.
Homicide.
Homicide?
You any idea where this Thompson is now, Mr. Olander?
No, he comes and goes. I don't like to pry.
Homicide, Steve.
This Friday, Skipper, we got one for you.
I've got one for you.
Hmm?
Mrs. Kessel, she's been found.
Mrs. Kessel was unharmed. She had no idea where she had been or why she had been suddenly released. All additional information which she could furnish on the suspect was immediately relayed to the entire state in an APB. 2 hours later, at a neighborhood garage Thompson patronized, we got his license number. We ran it through DMV and found the car was registered in the name of Charles Cottrell, 10115 Green Oak Drive, 7 p.m.
Yes?
Police officers. Is Charles Cottrell here?
Yes. Come in, please. I knew you'd find him. I kept hoping, but I knew you'd find him.
Where is he, ma'am?
He'll give himself up. I'm his wife. I talked to him. There won't be any trouble. No trouble.
Where is he?
You've got to understand, he didn't know what he was doing. We needed money. He didn't know what he was doing.
We'll have to search the house, ma'am.
Charlie! Charlie, come downstairs! Come down!
Get your hands behind your head.
I don't have a gun.
Charlie.
All right, Ben.
Behind your back.
Tell him, Charlie. You didn't know what you were doing. Tell him.
We needed the money. I thought it'd work. What'd I do wrong?
Come on.
Should have worked. I planned it all out. Where'd I make a mistake?
When you thought of it.
The story you've just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On August 2nd, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 86, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
It's amazing how many long cigarette smokers are changing to extra mild Fatima. Here is the actual report.
From coast to coast, extra mild Fatima has more than doubled its smokers.
Yes, more and more smokers every day are discovering that Fatima is the king-size cigarette that is extra mild.
Extra mild because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild, to give it a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Enjoy extra mild Fatima yourself. Best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Charles Cottrell was tried and convicted of kidnapping and received the sentence as prescribed by law. He is now serving his term in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.A. Wharton, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
Next, here's Sarah Berner in Sarah's Private Caper on NBC.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to hit-and-run felony detail. A dead body is found in the streets in the early hours of the morning. There's only one clue, a set of skid marks on the pavement. Your job, find the killer.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke extra mild Fatima. Yes, Fatima is the king-size cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild, to give Fatima a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. Enjoy extra mild Fatima yourself. Best of all, long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, April 19th. It was windy in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of traffic division. My partner is Ben Romero. The boss is Lieutenant Calfee, Commander AID. My name's Friday. It was 7:55 a.m. when I got to the second floor at 123 South Figueroa Street. Accident investigation. Hit and run felony detail.
Hit and run felony. Morning, Joe.
George?
Yeah. How is it?
Oh, it's not much better. Still aching.
Rough.
A lousy thing kept me up most of the night.
Check with that dentist I told you about?
Yeah, I did. Says it's a wisdom tooth. Huh? This one here.
Oh, yeah.
Says it's got to come out. I'm supposed to go back and see him today.
That's rough. Remember, a friend of mine had his wisdom teeth out. Hurt like the devil. Terrible. Finally pulled him. Ached for 5-6 days after.
Roger.
Excuse me, Joe. Yeah, McD.
Better have a 57 on that follow-up you handled yesterday, huh?
Okay. I got most of it down. I'll finish it up.
Friday?
Hi. Ben come in yet?
He's down the record bureau. Let's see that jaw of yours. Hasn't gone down much.
It's a bad wisdom tooth. Dentist says he's going to have to yank it.
Bum deal, eh?
That's the first time I ever had any trouble with him.
I remember a few years back, my sister Gertrude had trouble with a wisdom tooth in Pacton.
Yeah?
Whole side of her face was swollen. Poor kid was in terrible pain, full week. Even after they pulled it still hurt.
Hi, Joe.
What?
Picked up the overnight reports down at Records, Mac. Here you are.
Oh, thanks, Ben. This one on top here. I'd like to have you two check it out.
Dead body report.
Yeah. They left me a note on it. That's about all. Hard to figure.
What's the story?
Just what you see in the report.
The victims, Edward Raymond Stokes, 732 Delano Street, apartment 2.
His body was found in the gutter near 63rd and Vermont, 3 o'clock this morning. No witnesses. Only one piece of evidence.
Yeah, see, they got it listed here. Skid marks near the body. Is that all?
That's it. Parent hit and run.
Where's the body, Mac?
Neighborhood mortuary out there. Emerald Hills Funeral Home. One of the deputy coroners handled the body. A fellow named Joe Larimore.
Anybody claim it yet?
No.
Okay. Ben, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
We'll check you later, man.
Yeah. If you need any help, I've got McClellan and Rogers on hand.
Right.
How did we manage to draw all the choice ones?
I don't know.
Skid marks and a dead body.
Yeah.
Oh, say, I almost forgot. How's your jaw?
Oh, it still hurts.
Oh, it's tough. And still swollen.
Mm-hmm.
What did Dennis say?
Wisdom tooth.
Oh, it's miserable.
Yeah.
Wife had the same thing a couple of years back. Dennis tried to yank the tooth, and it broke right in two. Finally got it out.
That's good.
Funny thing about wisdom teeth.
What's that?
After they pull them, hurts for 5-6 days.
.33 a.m. Ben and I drove out to 63rd and Vermont and rechecked the spot where the dead body of Edward Stokes had been found. According to the report, the body was found 2 feet west of the easterly curb and 32 north of 63rd Street on Vermont. We examined the skid marks. They showed definite signs of being a lot older than 24 hours. The consistency of the rubber was weak, and there were heavy dirt smudges over them, indicating more wear than they could have possibly had since the estimated time of the victim's death. We got back in the car and drove to the Emerald Hills Funeral Home at Vernon and Denver Avenue.
Sure is rotten weather for April, huh?
Yeah.
These funeral homes, do you ever notice it?
What's that?
Why do they always put awnings over the windows? They never open drapes.
I don't know. Come on. office is?
There's a brass plate on that door over there.
Let's have a look.
Yes, sir.
Here's somebody, Jim.
Oh.
Gentlemen, may I be of service?
Police officers. I'd like to talk to Mr. Larimore. I believe he's a deputy coroner.
I'm Mr. Larimore. You came about the hit-and-run victim?
Yeah, that's right. This is Sergeant Romero. My name's Friday. We'd like to check the body if we could.
Certainly. It's back this way.
Understands you moved the body from the scene of the accident here to the mortuary.
Yes, that's right. Early this morning. Unusual case. Careful, there's 2 steps down just inside the door.
Yeah, thank you. Why do you say it's unusual, Mr. Larimore?
Well, here, let me show you. There. Now, for one thing, the victim had a basal skull fracture. I don't know about you gentlemen, but in the hit-and-run cases I've handled, a basal fracture's a pretty rare thing.
Well, it is possible, isn't it?
Yes, it's possible. Anything's possible, as they say. But it's not usual. A few other things here, too.
Yeah?
Notice the victim's knee here. Single, clean cut. Also, these wounds on the head. I've never seen anything like it in hit-and-run cases I've been called on.
Yeah, that wound on the knee doesn't jibe, does it? If he was hit by a car, the knee should be skinned up quite a bit.
Exactly. Well, you know how it usually is. The automobile hits the victim. There's always signs that the body was either dragged or thrown. Shredding of clothing, skinned knees, legs, elbows. No sign of that here.
You don't think the victim could have been killed by hit-and-run cars, eh?
No, I don't say that. It's possible that it might have been a car, but, well, let's say it's not very probable.
Has anybody at all inquired about the body, Mr. Larimore?
No one, no.
That's funny.
Oh, Mr. Larimore, may I see you a minute, please?
All right, Tom. Excuse me a moment.
Yeah, sure. Well?
Yeah.
Where do we start?
I don't know. Maybe we won't have to. Another lead like this, we can turn it over to homicide.
Sergeant?
Yeah?
There's a young lady in the lobby.
Yeah?
She wants to claim the body.
The girl was shown the body. She identified it as that of Edward Raymond Stokes. She gave her name as Marion Fuller, the victim's common-law wife. After she recovered from her shock, she asked if she might sit down for a while and rest. We took her into one of the offices in the mortuary, and Ben got her a glass of water. She told us that she had last seen Stokes alive at about 1 a.m. that morning. They'd been drinking together at a neighborhood bar on Vermont Avenue between 63rd and 64th Streets, half a block from where the victim's body had been found sprawled in the gutter. Why don't you sit down over there, Miss Fuller?
Thanks.
How long did you know Edward Stokes, Miss Fuller?
About 6 years. On and off. We've been together pretty much the last couple of years, though. Oh, my head.
Would you mind telling us exactly what happened while you were with Stokes last night? Everything you can remember?
I can't think. This headache's killing me.
Well, we should try, Miss Fuller. It's important.
Well, Eddie and I had dinner together at the Spanish Oven, place down on South Fig. That was about 7:45. Then we drove out to the Brown Barrel in Vermont, the bar I told you about.
Yeah.
Eddie and I go there most of the time. We stayed there and drank, played a little shuffleboard. Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, we stayed too long. Drank a little too much. I started talking to this fella next to me, and he got sore. Always got jealous when he was drunk. Poor Eddie.
Did Eddie fight with this other man, Miss Fuller?
No, I stopped him. That made Eddie mad. He never could drink right. He always wanted to pick a fight.
Who was the other man, you remember?
No, I don't. I guess I had a lot to drink, too. He's just some guy at the bar. His headache.
Well, it's not going to take much longer. Just a few more questions.
That organ's getting on my nerves.
What happened after you broke up the argument between Stokes and the other man?
Oh, nothing. We stayed in the bar. Eddie played shuffleboard most of the time. I was one of the booths drinking.
Yeah?
Around 1 o'clock, I started feeling sick, so I went outside and sat in the car. I guess I passed out there.
In your car?
No. I guess it belonged to one of the fellows in the bar. I passed out, and that's all I can remember.
Did you sleep in the car all night?
No. I guess whoever owned it drove me home.
Well, how'd they know where you lived?
Must have been one of her friends. I don't know. I don't remember anything till this morning. They phoned me up and said Eddie was dead.
Who phoned you, Miss Fuller?
One of our friends. I don't remember. I had a rotten headache.
Well, you can do better than that.
I tell you, I don't remember. They phoned and told me Eddie was dead. Somebody ran Eddie down.
All right.
Where are we going?
Downtown. We'll have a stenographer take your statement.
Oh, I've got a terrible hangover. I've never had one as bad as this.
Neither is Eddie. Let's go. On the way back to the office, Ben stopped at a drugstore, and I picked up a box of aspirin. The wisdom tooth was giving me trouble again. The clerk at the soda fountain fixed something for Marion Fuller's hangover. When we got her back to the office, we questioned her for more than an hour, but she gave us only one additional piece of information. The victim, Eddie Stokes, had been married before and divorced. His ex-wife lived out in the valley with their 2 children, and on several occasions she came to see Stokes at the Vermont Avenue bar when he failed to make the monthly payments for the support of the children. Each time they'd argued bitterly. We had a police stenographer take the Fuller woman's statement, and then she was released. 10:45 a.m., Sergeants Rogers and McClendon were assigned to check out the Vermont Avenue bar where Stokes had last been seen alive. Ben and I drove out to the valley to the home of Catherine Stokes, the victim's former wife. She met us on the front porch. Inside, it sounded like one of the children was practicing the piano. We told her what had happened.
Last week, I think it was. Yes, Thursday last week. Eddie hadn't sent any money for the kid's support for 3 months. I hated to chase after him like that. There wasn't anything else I could do.
Where did you meet him, Miss Stokes?
That bar he used to hang around. It's over on Vermont, called the Brown Barrel or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wouldn't you like to come inside?
Yes, thank you. Do you happen to know anybody by the name of Marion Fuller?
Yes, Eddie mentioned her. It was a man seeing a woman like that.
Do you know anything about her at all?
No. Whenever I saw Eddie, he'd mention he was running around with her. Guess he wanted to make me jealous.
Was your husband a pretty heavy drinker?
Yes, he was. So I got the divorce. Eddie was such a fine boy when we got married. Good home.
You didn't know any of the people he'd been running around with lately?
No, just the Fuller woman, that's all.
Can you think of anything at all that might possibly have a bearing on his death?
No. Eddie was probably drinking, wandered in the street, and a car hit him. I don't know. Oh, there's the bakery man. I've got to get some bread and a few things. Excuse me?
I think that's about all, don't you, Joe?
Yeah. I'll tell you, I'll leave our card here, Miss Stokes, in case you want to contact us for any reason.
All right. It was so wonderful when we were married, Eddie and I. My folks gave us this house as a wedding present. We got wonderful presents.
Yeah.
We had everything we wanted. A car, nice house, kids. It was wonderful till he started drinking. Then everything went. His job, everything. Started all of a sudden. I never knew why.
Yes, ma'am.
How do men get that way? How do they start?
I don't know. We only see a part of it.
Yeah?
When they finish. 12 noon. Ben and I drove back into town to Vermont and 63rd Street for a meet with Sergeants Rogers and McClendon. They told us that they checked out the bartender who'd been on duty the night before and also 7 of his customers. Their stories were almost identical. Each of them remembered seeing Eddie Stokes at the bar. Each of them remembered he was playing shuffleboard, that he was drinking heavily, and that he left the bar at about 1:45 a.m. All of us had the idea that for some reason the bartender and the customers were lying. In most cases, it's hard to find 2 witnesses who tell identical stories, let alone 7. For the rest of that afternoon, Rogers, McClendon, Ben, and I spent our time canvassing the neighborhood in the vicinity of the Brown Barrel Tavern. 4:45 p.m. We talked to the proprietor of a small grocery store 2 blocks down the street from the tavern. He told us that he rarely visited the bar, but that he thought that the man who ran the butcher shop next to his place, Mr. Eugene Murray, was a regular patron of the Brown Barrel. So we went next door.
Would you make that 2 pounds of ground round, Mr. Murray? We're having company tonight.
Yes, ma'am. 2 pounds.
Nice-looking meat, huh, Joe?
Yeah, the steaks look good, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
2 pounds. All right. Anything else now, Mrs. Gidney? Got some nice fresh kidneys today.
No, George won't touch kidneys. That'll be all. You put it on the bill, won't you, Mr. Murray?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir, gentlemen. Can I help you?
Police officers, Mr. Murray. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Oh, sure. Glad to help out if I can.
Have you ever been in the Brown Barrel Tavern down the next block there?
Brown Barrel? I go there all the time. Say, would you mind if I fix up an order while we're talking? The customer's going to pick it up in a couple of minutes. I don't like to keep him waiting.
Sure, go ahead.
I got to go to the ice box.
When's the last time you were in the Brown Barrel, Mr. Murray?
Last night, wife and I went to the movies. One of them English pictures. Lousy picture. We dropped in at the barrel on the way home for a beer.
About what time was that?
Pretty close to 2. What's the matter? Some kind of trouble?
Did you notice anything unusual while you were in there? Anybody fighting or arguing?
No, we were only in there a couple of minutes, but now that you mention it, there was something funny happen.
What was that?
Well, the bartender Carl and a half dozen of the neighborhood gang were back in one of the booths talking together. They seemed kind of nervous, and none of them seemed to be having a good time.
Yeah.
The wife and I yelled hello at them, but they kind of gave us a go-by. Then this drunk came up to us. And he, say, officer, would you reach that knife for me?
Which one?
That one.
Oh, yeah, here you are.
Yeah, thanks.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, this drunk came up to us and whispers to me, say, you better get out of here. There's been a fight. Hey, isn't that a beautiful piece of meat? Well, I didn't pay much attention to him. He was pretty drunk, could hardly understand him. I guess they have a lot of fights in there anyway.
Is that all he told you? There'd been a fight?
Yeah, that time. But he came back a couple of minutes later and whispered the same thing. You better get out. There's been a fight, he said. The wife and I just laughed at him.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I know all about it. A guy's been murdered.
You are listening to Dragnet, the case history of a police investigation presented in the public interest by Fatima Cigarettes.
Fatima, the long cigarette that has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. And there's a very good reason for this amazing increase. Men and women everywhere are finding out it's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
I agree, says Vic Highland, sports columnist.
I agree, says Shirley Gelman, registered nurse.
I agree, says Frank Fenton, author.
I agree, says Nancy Appel, news writer.
Yes, all agree. It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
So, enjoy extra mild Fatima yourself. The king-size cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild.
You will prefer Fatima's much different, much better flavor and aroma.
You will agree.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Best of all, long cigarettes.
6 p.m. Ben and I went back to homicide to turn the case over to them. They asked us to handle the investigation for another day because they were short of men at the moment and because there was still a big doubt as to whether or not Eddie Stokes had really been murdered. Actually, the only solid lead we had was the second-hand testimony of a drunken witness, that and the deputy coroner's doubts that Stokes was actually the victim of a hit and run. Mr. Murray, the butcher, didn't know the name of the man who told him that there'd been a murder, and he could give us only a meager description. We brought Marion Fuller back in and re-questioned her. She stuck to her story. She didn't remember anything. She was released again. It looked like we were in for a long night. We went across the street for a bowl of soup and a sandwich, and when we got back, Ben called his wife and told her he'd be working late. I called my mother.
Working late again? Oh, Joseph. How's your tooth feeling?
Well, it's a little better, Ma. It's still pretty tender. I'm going to go to the dentist tomorrow.
Yes, you've got to have that attended to right away. Bad teeth can poison your whole system. You be sure and see that dentist. Is he a good one?
Yeah, he's okay. One of the fellas down there told me about him. I'll see you a little later, huh? Don't wait up.
Yes. And you don't work too late, Joseph. You need your rest.
Yeah, okay, Ma. Goodbye.
All right, Joseph. Goodbye.
Joe.
Yeah?
Just talked to that butcher's wife on the phone, Miss Murray.
What'd she have to say?
Asked her the same questions we asked Murray. She couldn't add much. Same story.
Got something for you.
Yeah, Matt?
Rogers and McClendon just called in. They're still out at that bar.
Yeah?
Finally got somebody to talk a little.
What'd they get?
The bar boy out there. He says there was a fight happened about 1:30. Doesn't remember who was fighting.
Not much help.
Bar boy's name is Milner. He told Rogers he went outside about 20 minutes to 2 to put the garbage out. He saw the Fuller woman asleep in that car.
You get the license number?
No. Said there was a ticket on the windshield.
Ben and I checked with the sergeant of the watch at 77th Street Division. He told us Unit 111 was assigned to the area where the brown barrel was located. In checking their worksheet, we found that Unit 111 had issued a hang-on citation the night before to a car parked near 6330 and 1/2 Vermont Avenue, the address of the Brown Barrel Tavern. We checked the license number through DMV and found that the car was registered to a William R. Huddy, 14 Naylor Street. We drove out to the Naylor Street address and talked to Huddy's wife. She told us he was playing in a shuffleboard tournament that night at a bar down on South Olive Street. 8:55 p.m., we checked in at the bar.
Bartender.
Oh, yes, sir. What'll it be?
You know if there's a William Huddy in here? He's supposed to be playing a shuffleboard game here tonight.
Yeah, I know him. He's with the Highland Park team. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, that's him up now. Out on the blue shirt.
Thank you. Come on, Ben.
That's it, Bill. Good weight. Make it another 3. That cleans him. Good one, Bill.
Yeah, that's pretty close. Beat that one, Max.
Excuse me?
Yeah?
Are you William Huddy?
Yeah, that's right.
Police officers. We'd like to talk to you a minute.
Oh? What about?
I'd like to ask you a few questions. You step over here a minute.
Yeah, all right.
Were you at the Brown Barrel Tavern out on Vermont last night?
Yeah, I was. Why, what's the matter?
You know Marion Fuller?
Yeah, she hangs around the place. She goes with a guy named Eddie.
Did you drive her home last night?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did. She passed out in my car. She's a nice kid, but she drinks a lot. I drove her home.
Do you mind telling us what happened at the bar last night when you were there?
Well, I come in about 9 o'clock, and I start playing shuffleboard with a couple of guys. This guy, Eddie Stokes, he's one of them.
Yeah?
Well, he got in a beef with a guy at the bar over Marion. It's nothing big, though. Guy left after a while.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
That's about all. I left the place around 1:30, and this Eddie was beefing with some merchant seaman about that time.
Was the Fuller girl still at the bar at that time?
No, when I went outside, I saw her sleeping in my car, so I drove her home. I left her off and then come back to the bar. That's when they told me.
Told you what?
Well, they said Eddie had a fight with this merchant seaman. They said it'd be better if we kept it quiet.
Who told you that?
Call the bartender. But I got the real story from one of the fellas I was playing shuffleboard with, Leo McCarty.
What did he tell you?
Oh, he said that when Eddie Stokes left, the merchant seaman followed him out. He said he chased Eddie. McCarty went out about 5 minutes later.
Yeah?
Well, the merchant seaman was gone, and Stokes was lying in the gutter down the street.
Mm-hmm. Did McCarty look at him?
Yeah, he said Stokes looked pretty bad. Said he looked like he was dead, but I wouldn't believe that.
Why not?
This McCarty always exaggerates.
10:15 p.m. We had William Huddy come back to the office with us, where we questioned him further and took his statement. Then we had his friend Leo McCarty brought in, along with the bartender at the Brown Barrel Tavern and the customers that he'd framed his story with. McCarty was the first to give us the straight story, and then the others followed. The bartender, Carl Jansen, who also owned the bar, was the last to break.
How about it, Jansen? Why didn't we get a straight story to begin with?
Well, what about the publicity? How would that look? A murder around my place.
Could work out worse than that, Mr. Jansen. You've been withholding evidence. You talked these people into the same deal.
I'd protect myself. The newspapers, all the scandal, recommends business. I had to keep it quiet. It's not my fault that Stokes is killed. I didn't do it. I'm not to blame.
No, but you know who is to blame. Now, how about it? Who is he?
Well, he works on the ships. Comes in here most of the time when he's in port.
What's his name?
Henry Baxter. I've cashed some of his paychecks.
Ben, you better get the captain, huh?
Yeah.
Hit and run felony Friday. Oh, yeah. No, just a minute. For you, Jansen.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yes. Oh. Yes, Rita. Just a minute. Sergeant.
Yeah.
It's my wife. She's at the bar now. She thought you ought to know.
Yeah?
Henry Baxter. Frida says he just came in.
I talked to Jansen's wife and told her to delay Baxter as long as possible without arousing his suspicions. 11:25 p.m. Ben and I and Mr. Jansen, along with Rogers and McClendon, drove out to the Brown Barrel Tavern on Vermont. When we got there, Baxter was gone. Mrs. Jansen told us he was pretty drunk by the time he left the bar. She'd watched him go down one block, cross the street, and then enter a small nightclub on the opposite side called the Pink Shamrock. She'd been keeping an eye on the place, and as far as she knew, Baxter was still inside. We went down the street to the nightclub. Rogers and McClendon covered the back entrance. We got inside in the middle of a floor show. A blonde was doing some kind of a dance.
Can you spot him, Mr. Jansen? No, I don't see him yet.
How about over on this side, back in the corner there?
No, he's not there. It's so dark in here, I can't see too well. There's the rear exit to the place. He could have slipped out that way.
Gentlemen, like to have your picture taken? Souvenir photograph?
No, thanks. Maybe we better check with the waiter, Ben.
Sergeant, just a minute. That man over there at that table.
Where?
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
Where?
Right there, next to that pillar. He's just behind it, you see. Yeah, that's him.
All right. Come on, Ben. You stay right here, Mr. Jensen.
You bet.
Waiter. Hey, waiter. Another Coke high. You waiter? Another Coke high.
Your name Henry Baxter?
Yeah, that's right. What?
Police officers like to talk to you.
Yeah? Well, sit down.
Outside.
Outside nothing. Never see a show.
Let's go outside. Come on, Baxter.
Hey, wait a minute, Wade. What's the beef, anyway?
You know what the beef is.
Sure, I know what the beef is.
Come on, let's go.
The lousy punk Eddie Stokes trying to give me a bad time. Now he knows what a bad time is.
All right, Baxter, come on.
Lousy punk Stokes. I showed him how it's done.
Keep your voice down.
I slugged him. Pounded his head on the curb. He was drunk. He never knew what happened.
Come on, outside.
Hey, everybody, I killed Eddie Stokes. I killed him.
Last down. Let's get him out of here.
Yeah, okay.
How's that tooth feel, Joe?
Seems okay.
Better have the dentist yank it out first thing in the morning.
Well, I think I'll hold off a while.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
On July 30th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 87, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
It's amazing how many long cigarette smokers are changing to extra mild Fatima. Here is the actual report.
From coast to coast, extra mild Fatima has more than doubled its smokers.
Yes, more and more smokers every day are discovering that Fatima is the king-size cigarette that is extra mild.
Extra mild because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild, to give it a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Enjoy extra mild Fatima yourself. Best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Henry John Baxter was tried and convicted in Superior Court of manslaughter. He received the sentence as prescribed by law and is now serving his term in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.A. Wharton, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles. Sarah Berner stars in Sarah's Private Caper next on NBC.